Kindred is a high-skill, high-reward scaling jungler that thrives on map control, aggressive skirmishing, and precision timing. With strong early clears, powerful dueling, and one of the most game-changing ultimates in League of Legends, Kindred could take over games by securing marks and punishing missteps. In this video, I'll break down everything you need to master Kindred, from optimal pathing and item builds to when to fight, when to farm, and how to carry with Lamb and Wolf at your side. Alright, so we're going to start off with the runes and spells. Primary, you want precision. For the keystone, you want press the attack. For an alternative, you could go lethal tempo. That's like the off meta for DPS. There's really no reason you should switch off of press the attack. Press the attack is just great for Kindred and great for most junglers, honestly. For secondary runes, without a doubt, you want Triumph, Alacrity, and Coop. Secondary, you want Domination, Sudden Impact plus Treasure Hunter. An alternative for Treasure Hunter, you could go Relentless Hunter for early pressure, but be safe and just honestly best pick, go for Sudden Impact plus Treasure Hunter. For the shards, you want attack speed, adaptive force, and health scaling. For the skill priority, it's going to be consistent throughout all of your games. For levels 1 through 3, you want to go W, then Q, then E. Then after that, you want to max out your Q, then your W, then your E, while putting points into R at levels 6, 11, and 16. Alright, so let's talk about pathing in a bit of the early game. The most effective clear is definitely red buff into Krugs and Raptors, Wolves, blue buff, and then Gromp, which will get you level 4 before you go for Scuttle. In the early game, you definitely want to mark the enemy jungler. If you end up doing a fight on Scuttle, catch the enemy jungler, you can get 2 marks instead of 1. The first mark will always be Scuttle, but if it does happen to be on the opposite side, maybe the enemy jungler will be there already, you could walk over there and you could get 2 marks instead of 1 from killing Scuttle and the enemy jungler. Or try to invade, try to find the enemy jungler and get that mark as well. Kindred is very good at the early 1v1s. You have a very high chance of winning them. Now for the item build, the core build, the first item, you always want to go Triforce. Triforce will always be the first part of the core build. Now I do want to go over how to decide which boost to go for. So typically you want to go Steel Caps, that's just the standard into AD or Bruiser dueling junglers like Graves, Rengar, Udyr. And most of the time that will be what you're facing, AD, Bruiser, dueling junglers, stuff like that. But if they do have a heavy CC or AP comp, Merc Treads are the better option. You can go Berserkers if you've snowballed and want full attack speed output, but usually you just want either Steel Caps or Merc Treads. Forgot to record me talking about the next part of the build. The next item would be the Collector, and then after that, either Infinity Edge or Lord Dominic's Regards, depending on the matchup. And then after that, for a late game burst pickup, you can grab Rapid Fire Cannon. So now let's talk about mid and late game priorities. You want to be scanning for those marks, right? Squishy targets, you can continue marking them, force fights on them. This is the point in the game where you have a big power spike from 2 items and 4 marks. It's a great power spike. You can force fights, win a lot of fights, and it's a pretty easy and effective way of getting some marks. Now let's talk about marks and how they work exactly. At 0 marks, the first mark will always be Scuttle Crab. When you have 1 to 3 marks, it'll be the enemy's Raptors or Gromp, depending on what comes up at the time. And then 4 to 7 marks will be the enemy's Krugs, red buff, Wolves, or blue buff. Then 8+ marks will be objectives like Herald, Baron, or Drakes. So that's another thing I want to talk about, the objective control. Kindred really shines at Dragons and Rift Herald, so you definitely want to contest those objectives. Not only because of the marks, Kindred is also just very good at doing them. For matchups and counters, the junglers you're going to have the most trouble with are Rammus, Ivern, and Trundle. Those give Kindred some trouble. Obviously there's more, but those are like the main 3 and just like some main examples of what's going to give you trouble and maybe give you an idea of what you should ban as well. Some favorable matchups, the matchups Kindred excels against would be Rengar, Volibear, and Shyvana. Those matchups are typically just free marks and easier early fights. Some general champion tips, passive stacking, aim for 4 more marks by 15 minutes because this will grant a Q range buff, basically allowing you to hit your Q from greater ranges. Then also the Q plus W synergy, use Q just before W to maximize your resets in a fight. Also, ultimate smite combos. So if you pop your R, anything inside the area of the ultimate basically just can't go below, I believe, 10% health. If the dragon's about to die, right, you know, it's at that point where the enemy can smite it. You can use an ultimate to bait out their smite and basically make them waste their smite thinking they're gonna smite it. And when your ultimate goes down, you can smite it yourself and steal the objective. So that is a very effective way to use your ultimate. Also, baiting and repositioning. Use your ult to bait aggressive engages. So like if you do have your ult, you know, you can bait out an aggressive engage and then you can basically just pop it to completely turn the fight. That's everything you need to know to dominate the jungle with Kindred in Season 15. If you found the guide helpful, drop a like, leave a comment if you've got questions or matchup struggles, and don't forget to subscribe for more high impact jungle guides. Remember, every mark counts, every ult changes a fight, and with Kindred, the hunt never ends. Thanks for watching, and good luck out there.